All right, today we are tackling a story that throws a really dangerous question at you. In a world that has completely fallen apart, is the only sane response to go completely insane? We're going to deconstruct the psychology, the philosophy, and the absolutely brutal return of a hero who decided the world didn't need a man anymore. It needed a monster.
This one idea, right here, is the engine driving this entire story. It's such a dark, provocative thought. It basically argues that when everything is broken, trying to be sane is actually the crazy thing to do. The only way you can possibly force order onto chaos is with a will that's even wilder, but way, way more focused.
So where do we even begin? Well, let's set the scene. Imagine a grim, dystopian 1980s Gotham City. It's choking under this oppressive heatwave that just perfectly mirrors the social tension simmering on the streets. And in the middle of all this, a 55-year-old Bruce Wayne has been retired for 10 long, quiet years.
But you gotta understand, this was not some peaceful retirement. For Bruce Wayne, denying who he really is, it was like a form of psychological suicide. I mean, he grew a mustache, he tried to play the part, but he was just filling that empty space with these shallow death wishes, driving race cars right to the edge, basically begging for an end that just refused to come.
Okay, so to really get why he comes back, we have to look at the war that was just raging inside of him. This was a man literally tearing himself in two, caught between the public mask he was wearing and the monster he knew he truly was.
The book gives us this incredible concept, the Beast. And let's be clear, this isn't just a costume Bruce puts on. It's a core, compulsive part of his identity. It's described as an addiction to his highest purpose. And the text makes it plain, denying this beast would kill him just as surely as a bullet to the heart.
And this really visualizes that internal conflict perfectly. On one side, you have the mask, Bruce Wayne, a total lie that's leading to nothing but decay and a slow death. And on the other side, you have the truth, the beast, a necessary, terrifying force that is actually his truest, most alive self. So, when the beast finally does claw its way out, it's trapped in an older, slower body. He knows he can't be the nimble acrobat he used to be. So, what does he do? He's forced to evolve. He trades that raw speed for heavy armor, his agility for brutal, cunning strategy, and, well, he trades the sleek Batmobile for a literal tank.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Bruce Wayne's internal rot is a perfect mirror for the external decay of Gotham City itself. I mean, this place is an urban wasteland. The state, the system, it's all turned to ash.
All the traditional institutions, they're basically just corpses. The law is totally paralyzed, stuck between the tired, worn-out pragmatism of Commissioner Gordon and this new guard that's obsessed with procedure. The healers, the so-called intellectuals, are so naive it's dangerous, writing off true evil as just some social disease. And the media? Oh man, they're just a chaotic Greek chorus, fanning the flames and amplifying all the fear. It's a neo-frontier. The old rules are gone, leaving this massive vacuum that something new, and probably violent, is just waiting to fill.
And if you want the ultimate proof that the state's cures have become poisons, you don't have to look any further than the tragedy of Harvey Dent. The system was so sure it could fix him, cure him with some therapy and plastic surgery. They couldn't have been more wrong.
And this just says it all. The state's superficial fix, giving him a perfect face, it didn't heal his broken mind. It shattered it completely. By taking away the physical sign of his two sides, they just cemented his internal madness. He was now fully Two-Face. His perfect face just meant both sides were finally matching in their insanity.
So, into this massive power vacuum steps a brand new threat. It's a force of pure, destructive nihilism that forces our returning monster to evolve one last time or die trying.
The mutants are basically a generational black hole. They have no ideology, no grand plan. Their only goal is violence for the sake of violence. They're the ultimate symptom of a culture that's just totally lost its way, just raw, directionless chaos. And now, Batman has to face it.
The first time they fight, Batman gets absolutely wrecked. His pride, his reliance on brute strength, it nearly gets him killed. He realizes right then he can't win with power anymore. So for the rematch, he completely changes the rules of the game. He uses the environment, he trades wild punches for precision strikes. He decides to win with his mind.
This isn't a mud hole, it's an operating table, and I'm the surgeon. That line? It's everything. He's not a brawler anymore. He's a master tactician. He's become a surgeon of violence, methodically taking his opponent apart, piece by piece, and imposing his will through sheer intellect, not just muscle.
But here's the thing. Batman's victory, it doesn't really solve Gotham's problems. It just changes them. It creates this violent new dawn for the city and raises some really unsettling questions about his whole crusade. And this is the truly chilling result. The mutants, who have no will of their own, they just latch on to the new, stronger will in town. Batman's victory doesn't stop the violence at all. It just radicalizes it. He now has his own paramilitary street gang, and they're loyal only to him.
But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a counterargument to all this nihilism, and her name is Carrie Kelly. While the mutants are just a void, she represents purpose. She rejects her checked-out, apathetic parents. She chooses a side, and she earns her spot as the new Robin by saving Batman's life. She makes sure his legacy has a future.
The whole story we've been talking about is driven by what's going on inside Bruce Wayne's head, his constant claustrophobic inner monologue. So what happens when you take all of that away? Well, the 2012 animated movie actually gives us a pretty clear answer.
Now, the film is a really faithful adaptation of the plot, for sure, but it loses that deconstructive power of the original comic. By getting rid of that internal monologue, it makes the whole story external. That deep psychological dive becomes a much more straightforward action thriller, and a lot of that biting social satire gets toned down for a wider audience.
So in the end, you're left with these two very different legacies of Batman's return. On the one hand, you have this radicalized chaos in the form of the Sons of the Batman, and on the other, you have real hope and chosen purpose in Carrie Kelly. That's the central uncomfortable ambiguity of his actions.
And that's really where we have to leave it, because this story doesn't give you any easy answers. It just forces you to ask the hard questions. When society completely collapses, does it need a superior form of madness to put the pieces back together? And maybe more importantly, what is the terrifying price of that kind of salvation?